नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते प्रसूते देवी गौरवाचार्य विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुमं गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणे नमो. So today we will see the verse number 29 of chapter 5, which is the last verse of this chapter. Aram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram surudham sarvabhutanam ज्ञात्वा मां शान्तिं पृच्छति भोक्तारं यज्ञतपसं सर्वलोकमहेश्वरम् सुहृदं सर्वभूतानां ज्ञात्वा मां शान्तिं पृच्छति. Please chant.
भोक्तारं यज्ञतपसां सर्वलोकमहेश्वरं सुहृदं सर्वभूतानां ज्ञात्वा मां शान्तिमृच्छति.
भोक्तारां यज्ञतपसं सर्वलोकमहेश्वरं शुद्रां सर्वभूतानां ज्ञात्वा मां शान्तिं रक्षति.
भोक्तारं यज्ञतपसां सर्वलोकमहेश्वरं सुहृदं सर्वभूतानां ज्ञात्वा मां शान्तिमृच्छति.
Okay, thank you very much. So, translation and purport. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and the well-wisher of all living entity, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. Purport. The conditioned soul within the clutches of illusionary energy are all anxious to attain peace in the material world, but they do not know the formula for peace, which is explained in this part of Bhagavad Gita. The greatest peace formula is simply this: Lord Krishna is the beneficiary of all human activities. Men should offer everything to the transcendental service of Lord, because he is the proprietor of all planets and demigods thereon. No one is greater than he. He is greater than the greatest of the demigods, Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. In the Veda, Shvetashvatar Upanishad 6.7, the Supreme Lord is described as Tam Ishwarana Paramam Maheshwaram. Under the spell of illusion, living entities are trying to be lords of all they survey, but actually they are dominated by the material energy of the Lord. The Lord is the master of material energy, and the conditioned souls are under the stringent rules of material nature. Unless one understands these bare facts, it is not possible to achieve peace in this world, either individually or collectively. This is the sense of Krishna consciousness. Lord Krishna is the supreme predominator, and all living entities, including the great demigods, are his subordinates. One can attain perfect peace only in complete Krishna consciousness. The fifth chapter is practical explanation of Krishna consciousness, generally known as Karma Yoga. The question of mental speculation as how Karma Yoga can give liberation is answered herein. To work in Krishna consciousness is to work with complete knowledge of Lord as predominator. Such work is not under the transcendental knowledge. Direct Krishna consciousness is Bhakti Yoga, and Gyan Yoga is path leading to Bhakti Yoga. Krishna consciousness means to work in full consciousness of one's relationship with Supreme Absolute, and the perfection of this consciousness is full knowledge of Krishna or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A pure soul is the eternal servant of God as his fragmental part and parcel. He comes in contact with Maya illusion due to desire to lord it over Maya, and this is the cause of his many suffering. As long as he is in contact with matter, he has to execute the terms of material necessities. Krishna consciousness, however, brings one unto spiritual life even while one is within jurisdiction of matter, for it is an arousing of spiritual existence by practice in the material world. The more one is advanced, the more he is freed from the clutches of matter. The Lord is not partial towards anyone. Everything depends on one's practical performance of duties in Krishna consciousness, which helps one to control senses in every respect and conquer the influence of desire and anger. And one who stands fast in Krishna consciousness, controlling the above mentioned passions, remains factually in transcendental stage or Brahma Nirvana. The eightfold yoga mysticism is automatically practiced in Krishna consciousness because the ultimate purpose is served. There is gradual process of illusion in practice of yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahar, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. But this only preface perfection by devotional service, which alone can attain peace in human life. It is highest perfection of life. Thus end Bhaktivedanta purports to the fifth chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of karma yoga or action in Krishna consciousness. So Krishna explained about a person or a yogi who is in full knowledge. And so Krishna told that a person in yogi in full knowledge is liberated in this body, not because of his action, but because of his knowledge that he is here, his real identity and his relationship with the Supreme. By that knowledge, all the activities, the intention of the activities changes, and that gives the liberation. Also, it was explained that he conquers the krodh, kam and krodh, and then he becomes equal to everyone because of this real knowledge. So, till now, Krishna has not directly told about himself. He just explained as a Paramatma or supreme. But this verse he is directly explaining because word used is mam. Gyatva mam shantim ruchyati. So once you understand me, who am I? Krishna is telling Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam. So he is the uh, means all the yajna done by the karma yogi. When we give up the results of all the fruits of our action, that becomes yajna. So all the yajnas done by karma yogi, Krishna is the receiver of the offerings. And also tapasam, the austerities done by the gyan yogis. Uh, the results of those austerities go to Vishnu or Krishna. And Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, he is the ruler or he is the supreme in all the worlds. And Surudam Sarvabhutanam, I am, and he is well-wisher of everyone. So he is not partial to anyone. He tries he wants everyone to get perfection, everyone to understand Atma and the relationship. So he is helping everyone, and that is what we discussed, right? One of the point that the person in real knowledge sees the super soul in everybody and sees how super soul is helping each and every living being to get liberated, and then he gets the equal vision. Yeah, we saw I think 25th or 26th sloka. So uh, Srila Prabhupada always mentions when he talks about this verse as the peace formula, because the word shantim, peace, is used here. So because as explained in the purport, if everybody works for a one cause, then even if they have individual differences, till we are moving towards the goal, everybody is okay. So we can observe this in all our offices, everywhere we can see. If everyone works for same purpose, and then they can give up the individual differences and proceed towards that goal. And then they are generally peaceful because the goal is achieved. So Srila Prabhupada tells this is peace formula. How? Because you understand that everything in this world and everything you do is meant for Krishna. And by this knowledge, you will get the peace of mind, because you will not be hankering, you will not be in anxiety, you will not to try to search for results. So when you don't have anxiety, you are not trying hard or endeavoring hard, you automatically become peaceful. So the formula for peace is knowledge. Once you get knowledge, proper knowledge, and then you act in that knowledge, you proceed towards the ultimate goal of the life. So, yajna of karma yogi, austerity of jnanis, and uh, sarva loka maheshwaram. So, ashtanga yogi's ultimate goal is understand Paramatma. So that is also sarva loka maheshwaram, because Krishna is the owner of all the worlds. So everything ultimately points out to Vishnu or Krishna, that he is the supreme, and for that all these different processes are there. And above these processes is bhakti yoga. So once you get all this knowledge about yourself and about the supreme, then you act in that consciousness to satisfy the supreme or to satisfy Krishna. And when you work in that consciousness just to satisfy Krishna, then that becomes bhakti. So all the processes ultimately reach to uh, understanding our relationship with the Supreme. So Krishna now Krishna has explained about the Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga. Now Krishna, last yesterday's verse we saw, Krishna explained something about Ashtanga Yoga, Yama Niyama. Once you are qualified, then Krishna told that you control your senses, you control your mind and focus on higher thing. So that was a short description about the Ashtanga Yoga. So after this chapter, the next chapter is Dhyana Yoga. So that belongs to the another process of realization or getting liberation. That is what's called Dhyana Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga. So Krishna is telling, because Arjuna had in the first chapter we saw, Arjuna had one argument that instead of fighting and killing all these my relatives and getting into anxiety, better I don't fight and be at peaceful in the forest. So Krishna is telling you cannot be peaceful just leaving up your work. You understand the reality, who is the ultimate beneficiary of all these sacrifices or yajna or austerity. And when you understand that, then you will automatically understand your position and you will be in peace. So Arjuna, the formula that you are using for peace is not correct. Better you act, and with knowledge, that will give you peace. So Krishna now will tell Arjuna and of course all of us about another process, because Krishna in this chapter he has several times told about controlling or overcoming the kama and krodh, so desires, and controlling the senses and mind. So Krishna will tell more details about these in the next chapter. So we'll see that chapter from tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. It's very famous shloka, quoted many times. So any comments, any additions? Okay, thank you very much for joining. So we'll start new chapter tomorrow.